Today is the day I'm officially going to start my ketamine treatment. I'm really nervous because this is something I have truthfully not wanted to do. With all the other treatments I've done, including the TMS, I just feel like there's no other option. Ketamine is a newer treatment. It's a street drug originally, but they have found that there are properties and links to your neurological center that can help rewire your brain to help with depression, anxiety, PTSD, a host of other things. So this is one of my last resorts that I'm doing. I'm getting the treatment done here in Florida since I'm here for a couple months. I had to go through a pre-approval process, about 4 rounds of interviews for this specific location. You cannot just walk off the street and get ketamine treatments. You have to have prior authorization, such as doctor clearance. You have to have history of trauma and mental illness. You have to try other alternatives because they're not just gonna let you come in and say, oh, I'm feeling depressed or whatever, and get you on the list. It's not how it's gonna work. So there is a process to this. It is fairly expensive. The cost of the treatment specifically here is $500 to $600 a treatment. After interviewing with these people, they said I would need on average 6 treatments. Now, obviously this really depends on how your body reacts, how much trauma you have. I am going to try to do 6 treatments within 3 weeks. So that means I'm going to be getting 2 treatments a week. The treatment process is about 40 minutes to an hour, and they give you an extra hour buffer time and trying to relax and then waking up from the treatment. I'm really scared to do this because I am not I've not ever been into drugs, and this is 100% a drug. Let me know if you guys have been struggling with depression, anxiety, PTSD, or any of the other mental illnesses. Let me know if you guys have tried ketamine before in any of its form. This form that I'm going to be getting is going to be administered directly into the bloodstream. I know back home they had an option that was through nasal captivity, so this is supposed to be more effective. The place I'm going to has a 95% success rate, meaning that everybody that has gone there has pretty much had improvement. They also have said that they have never had anybody that didn't have some level of improvement, no matter what degree that is. This is going to be a scary process for me. I don't know what to expect. I'm just hoping it does work because nothing has worked in the past. But yeah, I'll see you guys when I get there. I'm not supposed to film once I'm in the treatment center, in the clinic, but I will carry you guys on for the ride, give you updates every treatment, see how I'm progressing, if it's working, if it's not. And then at the end of the video, I will give you guys my final review if I think it's worth it, if it's effective, and if it can help you with your struggles as well. This is my second treatment. I am not looking forward to this. I did not like how I felt last time. Not looking forward to the nausea, but I'm just gonna get by with it because if I can feel better in the long run, I'll do it. But really anxious about this whole thing. They want to up the medication this time, which I'm not really comfortable with. I feel like I just kind of have to do what they say because they obviously know better than I do. So I'm gonna have to see how I feel afterwards. Just praying the nausea is not as bad as it was last time. Yesterday I had my 3rd ketamine treatment. I would say like going in there I was scared, but I still don't like the treatment. So my last treatment was like Thursday or Friday, so I had 2 or 3 days before a gap between treatments, and over the weekend I had done significantly worse. I was having a really hard time. Before my treatment, I talked to one of the guys in there and he was just asking me how treatment went, and I said, the first time was really scary. Second time, I don't really remember the experience, but I wasn't quite as freaked out. And he said the first time they gave me the shots, the ketamine shots, at 2 different times. So they did the first one and then they waited 20 minutes into the second one. And the second time they gave it to me all at once. Even though I had a worse experience the first time, I think what they want to do is to have you be in as deep of a state as possible And so for this third time, they did injections like they did the first time. And I don't believe they did a higher dose. I know the second time they went up 10 milligrams, they went from 85 to 95. So I think they stayed at 95, I don't know for sure. This time, the nurse said she had been dealing with really hard depression. Now, I don't know personally what else she was dealing with. She suggested I try a magnesium shot with the ketamine. She said some people just don't have magnesium in their system and it makes their depression a lot worse. In the case with her. So it was like a $50 add-on, and she said I'm not gonna notice a difference the first treatment, but maybe the second or third time it'll start to kick in. So I was like, okay, like whatever helps, you know. And I didn't notice a difference. While I had more of an experience the third time, apparently I was all over the place and they had to take me out of the chair and put me on this mattress on the ground because my body was just all over the place, and supposedly I was in danger of myself because I was flinging my arm around and my legs, and they didn't want me to hurt myself, so they put me on the ground. I woke up and I'm on the ground on a mattress. They said that even though I didn't like it, it was actually a good thing because supposedly the more movement you have, the more you're like digging into stuff, you're digging through your past, you're digging through the trauma, and they really want me to dive in there and slowly eat away at it so it's not just controlling my subconscious anymore. So I'm like, okay, I mean, I didn't know I was doing that, but I guess that's good. And they said supposedly I'm on the verge of a breakthrough. So I don't know. I don't know if they're making that up. I don't think they are. I am a little bit skeptical of these things because I've had so many instances in the past where people are like, you're doing better, and I'm not doing better. So I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I'm gonna need more treatments, clearly. They've never had people who just do 3 and are okay. They said there have been a couple people that have done 3 and they don't continue treatment and then they relapse in a week or 2. So I really don't want to do that. They said it's better to do too many treatments to kind of protect yourself, I guess. It has been really tough for me. I don't know why. I feel like after a treatment last night I was okay. I didn't throw up afterwards. But today I've just been in bed all day, really down. Don't see any brightness in the world, and hard for me to know that the treatment's working. I'm trying to keep a hold of peace out there that it will work. I'm just not really seeing it right now. This is treatment 4, and I'm vlogging in the bathroom because I'm not supposed to do it in the treatment center. I really don't like that you can't drink before these things. I'm very thirsty. I'm not really scared of treatment this time. I just more so want it to be over. As my 4th treatment, I hope I can see a little bit of improvement, since most people, it seems to that this is the kind of time when they start to have breakthroughs and feel like it's kicking in. I haven't really experienced that yet. I've had a lot of downs, especially yesterday, so not too scared of the treatment, just want to get over it and hopefully and get some kind of benefit from it. Even though they say everybody has this like magic number of when they're gonna start feeling better, and that's when you start feeling better. When you know, you'll know. Super vague, kind of irritating, and like I get it because everybody's different. It's frustrating because I wish they would just be like, oh, you'll feel better, and that's not the case. I was at the gym this morning and it's just even hard to get through a workout when you just feel so run down all the time. For those of you who have depression, you'll know what I mean by you feel like it's just eating you alive from the inside. I would say the closest comparison is chronic heartbreak. I would say or argue it's actually a little worse than that, a little bit more painful, even though you can't see it from the outside. They say to not be anxious and to not get worked up, but honestly it's really hard not to, because I don't enjoy drugs. I don't like feeling high. I get really, really scared because I don't remember reality. So I can't even think about who my mom is. I can't remember who my boyfriend is, my dogs. Like, I have no concept of reality when I'm in this trip. And that's really, really scary for me. I try to calm myself down. They give you headphones to listen to, sometimes an affirmation to kind of think about and process. And a big thing they stress is to a desired outcome or a purpose for your treatment. I'm having a hard time with that, so usually I'm just trying to get myself to relax, because if I don't relax, it's gonna make the treatment awful. So that part's gotten better, but I still don't enjoy it, if that makes sense. Like, I just don't enjoy feeling stuck in an alternate universe and never getting out. I'm just trying to get myself through it. I've now completed all steps of my treatment, so I ended up doing 6 in total, and it's been a week since I finished up. I'm home now. I was in Florida getting treatment, and overall I noticed a minor improvement in my mood. Nothing significant, nothing that I was expecting. I was expecting to feel like way better, not infinitely better, just a little bit better. There's a little slight increase in my mental health. However, the biggest thing I noticed that isn't really mood, depression, etc. related is the massive storm in my head that is usually circulating and causing me great distress. I am certainly an overthinker, especially for those of you who have ADHD. I'm sure you can relate. I obsess about things uncontrollably, and my mind is just whirling around like a hurricane all the time, and the treatment 100% helped with that. My mind has been so much calmer, and I notice now when things happen in my daily lives, instead of just reacting in a certain way and kind of freaking out or getting overly emotional about it, I'm able to take a bit of a deep breath and go about it a lot more logically, more calmly and thoughtfully than just having more of a knee-jerk reaction, which isn't always how I want, obviously, to react. But I think when you're so wound up, that is how you normally react. But also, instead of letting things instantly crush me, cry inside, or feel really lonely and really depressed, that has really dissipated. You know, just take it as it is without feeling so decompressed and hurt by it. Kind of related to my mood and everything, because I'm no longer having these crazy panic attacks and down spells where I have these meltdowns, whether in my head or in real life. I mean, they happen both at the same time, so that has helped. So bottom line, should you guys get ketamine for depression or otherwise? In my opinion, it's worth exploring ketamine treatment, the IM version. IM is going to be the most effective. Below IM, you've got IV, which is just administered through a regular IV. IM, the kind I've been getting, is a shot you get in your arm and the muscle. And then below IV, you've got Spravato, which is basically the nasal spray, which honestly, you guys, if you have something else in your area that is above Spravato, please do it, because I don't think Spravato is going to do you any help if you have major depression. Now, to get ketamine, you have to go through an intensive pre-check to make sure that you legitimately have depression and you've tried every other options. So I do think ketamine is worth it if other treatments haven't worked for you, if antidepressants haven't worked for you, if traditional therapy hasn't worked for you, etc., etc., because it is pretty much the top tier method outside of ECT, which is a little bit scary. I would like to avoid that method at all costs based on some other people I know that have done it and have been very unhappy with it. But make sure you're going to a medical professional and a reputable clinic, as ketamine treatments are coming and clinics are arising and multiplying throughout the US. There are some not so great places, so make sure you do your research, make sure they have legitimate testimonials, make sure they care about you. What I really liked about My Self Wellness, which is the place I went to, everybody there had gone through the treatment, had experienced something in their life that brought them to the clinic, and now they work there. They were angels to me. They were so helpful. They helped me figure out what I was dealing with. They helped me decode what I was experiencing in my trip, helped me with my treatment into diving it and getting the max effectiveness out of it. So I would recommend them, but depending where you live and your budget, obviously figure out what is in your area and possible for you. Everybody's experiences is different. Some people need 3 treatments, some people need 6, some people need 15, 20 plus, and then there's always the aftercare or the top op session. So after you complete your treatment, know that it may be 6 months down the line or longer where you have to top off if you just feel yourself sliding back a little bit. So it is a bit of a lifelong journey. I am the biggest component of ketamine right now compared to all the other treatments out there. It does have the max effectiveness in my opinion and in my experience, so I would really recommend you guys try that if possible. That will be it for today's video. I hope my experience with ketamine inspired you to maybe seek out some help for yourself, as well as providing some insight if you know a loved one that is struggling and may need some help. There are tons of resources on the web. I will link the website to the clinic that I use below. Very helpful. You can skim through their articles and resources. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, and I shall see you next time. Bye.